Hello people of YouTube and welcome to TomCatchesUp, my low-key language channel. I currently have language goals in 5 different languages and am making proper progress in 3 of them, namely Norwegian, German and Italian. I also have some goals in American Sign Language and in French, but I haven't really started working on those yet. Now my reasons for studying these particular languages are mostly because they are directly applicable to me, and if I were to know them I could directly apply them to my life because they come from countries I like to travel to and from countries that I, for example, already have quite a few friends in. So my goals for most of these languages is to become conversational, with the one exception being American Sign Language, but I will get to that shortly. My primary language is absolutely Norwegian because I live in Norway and it is kind of convenient for me if I were to be able to speak Norwegian with the locals. Now my goals within Norwegian are mostly speech related because my level of reading and writing and understanding spoken Norwegian are already quite decent. I just need to take that extra step of actually learning how to speak the language. Then my primary goals for learning German and Italian are to walk through the entire Duolingo course of both of these languages, and I want to do so within the next 40 weeks, which for me from this point on is July the 18th of 2018. Now German I sort of expect to be a cakewalk because I am Dutch and my native language is a lot like German. Additionally, I have also learned German in high school for a full 5 years. Now I don't feel like I've actually learned that much, but the basics and the basic vocabulary are still very much in my head. So especially the start of the Duolingo course in German, I kind of expect to be relatively easy and relatively doable for me. Italian, however, completely different story. I expect Italian to be a walking disaster and completely impossible to do. And that is because I have never in my life touched any form of Romance language. So I have no idea what I'm doing, no idea where to start, and it's an absolute challenge for me to do this. But I'm very excited for it. The primary reason I want to study Italian is simply because my sister is already studying Italian and I really wanted to learn a language together with someone, so I thought I would join in with her learning. Then we get to French, and French is actually my preferred Romance language and possibly one of the languages I want to learn most. But I've chosen to prioritize Italian over French because, like I said, my sister's already learning it and I really wanted to learn a language together with someone. And since I don't really have anyone to directly study French with, I thought Italian would be a better starting point. Then we come to American Sign Language, or ASL, the only unspoken language on this list. I don't necessarily want to become fully conversational in American Sign Language, but I at least want to form some form of understanding and appreciation for the language, because sign language absolutely fascinates me, but I don't really have any direct need or application for a sign language. Now, the reason I have chosen American Sign Language is because I have understood from the very reliable source that is the internet that American Sign Language is kind of a universal sort of sign language. So for people that don't have it as their native sign language, they will often at least know a little bit of American Sign Language, which I thought would make a pretty decent reason for me to also learn a little bit of it and generate some appreciation for American Sign Language. Right, so what can you expect from me on this channel, language video wise? Firstly, I want to do language learning diaries, which entails that I will do videos where I just talk in the language for 5 or 10 consecutive minutes and try to make some form of sense in that particular language, or I will do some videos reviewing learning methods and talking you through the way I study certain languages and what I would recommend and wouldn't recommend, what my experience with those particular languages are, etc. I also want to do stuff like study with me, which I find quite an interesting concept. It's sort of longer, unedited videos that you can just sort of put on while you are studying your own language, and it can be kind of motivational to have someone, in this case me, to be there and do their own language learning thing while you are doing yours. I think that is that's kind of an interesting sort of concept I want to play around with. And then lastly, I want to do Dutch lessons because my native language is Dutch, and I figure that there's not really any better way to learn a language than to sort of interact with native speakers of said language. So that's why I kind of want to help out Dutch learners by throwing in what I know and can help out with within the Dutch language. So expect quite a lot of that, actually. So that is it for this introductory video about TomCatchesUp, my low-key language channel. You are very welcome to accompany me on this language learning journey that is about to commence. Thank you very much for watching, and don't forget to randomly push some of the positive buttons down below, and I will see you next time. Ciao!